to bring up our good friend, Executive President's team member, Karla Sandoval.
Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you guys can hear me. You can hear me okay? Everybody? Yes? All right, awesome. Well, first of all, thank you. My gosh, as I was listening to all the incredible promotions, look at all those pink hearts, okay? Love you guys too. Hi, hi, hi. OMG. All right, awesome. So, well, first of all, thank you guys for the opportunity to be on here. I want to just tell you something. I just got through the doors. We've been shopping all day. We stopped and got some green juice, and I didn't know when you were going to introduce me, so I didn't have time to go change. So, excuse the stain, okay? But here's what I'm going to say. Write this down. It doesn't matter, okay? What matters is that I'm here, that you're here. So sometimes, and this is so perfect, right? Sometimes we want things to be perfect before we take any action. And right now I was like, what is on my shirt? And I'm like, I should probably go change. No, I think she's done. I don't know. Do I have time? Do I have time? And this is one thing I want you to write down. You got to always be ready. Write that down. And the reason I say that is because, so many times, I don't know about you guys, and I'll introduce myself in a little bit, but so many times we hold ourselves back from showing up because of a little stain on the shirt or a little whatever, right? And so life has a funny way of teaching us lessons. I was like, I'm going to turn that into a lesson. Just show up. Show up is half the battle. So anyway, you guys, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to tell you my story really, really quick. I've been with the company now for 25 years. No, actually 26 years. I'm going to be 27 in June. I got started when I was 16 years old, and I saw my parents do this business, and I was like, this is so cool. So I decided to jump on the wagon and got registered as a distributor. We didn't have preferred members back then. And I became a supervisor at the age of 16, and I started to talk to people about the products. I had lost weight, and I was a cheerleader, so people were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to make the money, okay? And so what ended up happening was I was like, I'm going to quit school. Like I was a sophomore in high school. My mom's like, no, you're not. And so I stayed in school, thank God, and I did the business very, very part-time around whatever I was up to, okay? And then I went off to college. I went to USC, Fight On, and I graduated. And upon graduating, okay, and I graduated in right when the 9/11 hit. Okay, so I know that Texas, most of you guys are from Texas, if not everybody, but most of you. I know that you guys just went through something very, 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 very challenging. And so I'm going to speak to you. My purpose and my goal and my intention today is, yes, this is the last call of the month, or last coaches meeting of the month. And I want to give you some tools on how to close the month strong. But I also want to share with you how it was that I turned something like something devastating into something that actually served me. Type a 1 on the chat if you're interested in learning how, because I don't know about you, but graduating from college, I was like ready to conquer the world. And then all of a sudden this thing hit, right? And I was like, dang, you guys are active on the chat. Holy cow. I love it. I love it. And that means you're listening. Good job. And so, one of the things that happens is that, when you are coming out into maybe this is for you, right? Me, it was like graduating from college. I was like, I'm going to conquer the world. This is it. For you, it might have been, this is 2021. This is my year. I'm going to go for it. And then all of a sudden, okay, quote unquote, for those of you guys who are looking at the camera, right? All of a sudden, the 9/11 thing hit. For you, it's like all of a sudden this huge storm hit. And here's what happens, right? Life has a funny way, I think, of testing us. I don't know. I did a live on this today, and I brought somebody on because somebody messaged me this morning, and there was like, every time I want to move forward, she was talking about weight loss, but it could be like, you probably made the decision 2021 that this was going to be the year that you're going to change pins. Or if you changed pins last year, you're like, I'm going to change another pin, or I'm going to requalify, or I'm going to whatever. And many of us, what ends up happening is we have all these goals and all these dreams, and we're like ready to go for them. And then it's almost like God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was like, oh, you think? Okay, let me show you. And boom, like something hits. 4 days, however many days you guys were without electricity. I'm not dismissing it. But I always feel that there's always lessons behind what happens. I was conquering the world and it was like 9/11 hit. No jobs. I have a diploma. No jobs. And it's like, what do you do, right? And so here's the thing, right? I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share with you guys. I want you guys to take notes. For those of you guys who have your cameras on, thank you. And because I love seeing you guys, okay? And I want you guys to take notes, okay? We're only on here for like 20 minutes. I know I'm a mom of, okay, so let me finish telling you my story. So I graduated and then I went ahead and started doing the business. And my very first month, I made an extra $1,000 and I was like, oh my God, I am rich. I was 23, okay? And then all of a sudden, like things started moving and growing, okay? And I kept plugging into trainings. That's one of the things, okay, so let me finish telling you. I have so much to tell you in such a short period of time, but I'm gonna get it all in, okay? So you guys better hurry up and grab your tea, grab whatever you got. Look at my cup. My Team Beauty cup. And grab your things because we're going to go fast, okay? So, like Pati Galaviz says, agilita la mente. Get that brain really moving. Get your CR7. That's what I got in here. So what happened was I graduated and then all of a sudden I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I started the business and I didn't know what I was doing. I was very rebellious. I didn't listen to my parents. My parents have been doing this business for a long time. They were already president's team. What do they know? And so I did everything opposite. They were like, go right. I'm like, I'm going to go left. I've always been like that. I've been like this rebellious person. I should have my husband listen to this call because he's like, why are you always? I'm like, I don't know. That's just the way I am. Okay. And, but what ended up happening was I finally paid attention. I started, really doing what they were telling me to do. And my very first month, I made an extra $1,000. 3 months later, this is not typical, but it's very possible. I was making $2,000. And, 6 months into the business, I was fully qualified to get team, global expansion team, which means I was making about over $2,000-$3,000 a month just in checks. And a year in the business, a year and 1 month, 13 months, I hit mil team. So I was fully qualified millionaire team. I was 24 years old, making $5,493.28. This is not typical. 3 months later, I jumped to $7,000. A year and a half later, it was $8,000. A year and a half doing this business, over $8,000 a month. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how I did that. Okay? But here's the thing. I could tell you, but the reality is these are different times. It's so much easier now. I did 300 flyers every single day, 50 pull tabs. Some of you guys don't even know what the heck that is. Pull tab, what is that? There's these little things you hang and then you pull, But here's the thing, write this down. I did whatever it took, right? I literally write that down. I will do whatever it takes. I was living at my parents' house. I did not want to live, even though they had a very nice house up in El Dorado Hills. Their neighbors were like attorneys and shit. And stuff. They were like super like, what do these Mexicans do that they're home all day? Right? They're probably thinking that Herbalife was something else. Back then it wasn't legal, so they probably thought something, I don't know, right? But the reality is this, right? I saw their lifestyle and I was like, I'm not dumb. And I'm like, man, what? Right? And I just, write this down also, I just figured it out. My husband and I just had this big old conversation. Well, he had a conversation with me because I was just listening. Sometimes I finally have learned to pick my battles. Finally, after 5 years of being married, I'm like, I'm just going to let him talk. And he was like, you need to treat your members, your distributors like business owners, not like your children and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing, right? You're going to always, thank you, Rosemary. I've been drinking a lot of tea all day. And a liftoff and CR7, that's my combination. If you guys want to know how this energy happens, it's called CR7 and liftoff. You put those together and it's like, bam. But here's the thing, okay? You've got to become the type of person, write this down. I must learn to be resourceful. Because at the end of the day, you guys, here's the thing. Everything I literally screenshot the calls that you guys have and I send it to my team on Telegram. I'm like, I'm about to do a call for Jerry and Diego and the team. Look all the calls that they have, because they're like, oh my God, we have so many calls. God knows none of y'all say that. Okay, but it's like, I was like, they complain for one call a week and they can't even get on that on time. Right? And that was the conversation with my husband. He's like, these people. And so anyway, but what I'm saying, why am I telling you this? I have no idea. But the point is, you got to become resourceful. You got to figure things out. Right? So what happened was, just like with you, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys went through some really, really challenging times. I don't want to dismiss that. Okay, I don't want to dismiss the fact that you went through some days with no electricity, no water. Okay, I'm really glad that you guys are all safe, right? But it's like lights are on, literally. Lights are on. Water hopefully is back on. You know, I know some people still don't have it. But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this, you guys, please listen. I say this with the most respect. Okay? I'm going to say something that some of you are going to be like, I want to get off the call. Don't get off the call. But I'm going to say something with the most amount of respect. I want you to think about, and I'm telling you, I love you. I don't even know you, but I love you, okay? I want you to think about the condition that this storm found you in. I want you to think about that. Were you prepared? I know if we had an earthquake tomorrow, God forbid, I am not prepared. I told my husband, we need to get generators. We need to get more water. Let this be a lesson for us. But let's turn this into a lesson about business. Okay? The storm, AKA these 4 days, 5 days, whatever it was, it's gonna hit again. Not that type, but something else is gonna hit. And I want you to ask yourself, how do you want the next storm to find you? I'm going to tell you how I want it to find me. I want it to find me. I'm just going to say these are no income claims. By no means am I guaranteeing that this is going to happen. You have to do a lot of hard work. But I want the next storm to find me a freaking millionaire with a lot of money in the bank account. Not with generators, not only for me, but enough generators to share. I want it to find me with enough, blankets and enough money to be able to buy it, to give it away to the homeless. I want it to find me. It will find me prepared. But it's not going to find you prepared unless you start that now. So let's let the last storm wake us up. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Like, if tomorrow something happens, did you learn the lesson? Okay? I still haven't gotten a generator, so bad, Karla. Right? But here's the thing, right? Why am I saying that? Because what's going to happen is this. We had a recession. It's called the pandemic, and we're supposedly, we were not in a recession. Thank God for Herbalife, right? But a lot of people had to close their businesses down. And here's the thing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm a little nerd. I was the economics student of the year. Okay. So I'm a little smart when it comes to school. And I can tell you, one of the things that we learned in economics is that there is a recession, however you want to think, that the government provokes it or whatever, but they provoke it, every 8 to 10, 12 years, right around there. Think about it. Write these dates down. Just write these dates down. Write these dates down. 2001, 9/11. Right before that, the economy was like pure. The government was like, let me bring it back down. Boom, 9/11 hit, right? And then after that, things went back up. Okay? And then guess what happened in 2008, 2009, right around that time? Boom, the boom thing with the houses and all that stuff. The economy got to come back down. Okay, so between 2008, which is when it was the worst, okay, to 2000 and whatever it was this last couple of years, okay, it was like we were due. We were due. Okay, so I'm telling you this right now. In the next 8 to 10 years, there's going to be another economical crisis. There's going to be another recession. How do you want it to find you? Okay, so I'm going to give you some points that I have decided. I'm like, you know what? Sandoval, that's my last name. Not my maiden last name. I know if Diego's on here, he's like, you still haven't changed it. Karla Martinez, okay? Get it together. Because here's the thing, you guys. You have an opportunity in your hands that when the next recession, when the next storm, whether it's a national catastrophe or your personal family storm, when it finds you, you're going to be financially, mentally, spiritually, physically ready. Because life is not all like pink and roses. I wish it were. How boring that would be, actually, right? But you got to understand, especially for those of you guys who are really, really young, maybe you haven't had enough life experiences to know this. Let me just save you the headache. Let me tell you something, okay? Get your money. Get your money. Build a business that is going to protect you and your family for the rest of your lives. But it doesn't start like, oh, one day, someday, when my kids go to school, when this, when that. You know, one of the girls today on my call said, she's like, people feel like life is one day going to slow down. People feel like one day things are going to be all in place for them to do whatever. When my kids go to school, I'm going to build this business. And then they go to school and then you get really busy because now they have all these activities. When my kids go to high school and they can drive themselves, now you're all worried because they're always out and about with the girlfriends. When my kids go to college, now you can't quit your job because you need money to be, you see what I'm saying? There's always something. But here's the thing, if you start to master certain things in your life, not only are you going to have a powerful month, you're going to have a powerful quarter, you're going to have a powerful year, but you're going to have a powerful life. So here's a couple of things that I want you to take notes on, okay? I would say before together, I would say, are you ready? Okay. Let me tell you guys a little secret, okay? Before I put you all my little notes, I'm going to tell you what has had me, I don't know if you see, I'm like super happy. The last couple of weeks, I have been, I don't know what's going on with this woman here. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I finally like owned my power. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, own your power. That doesn't mean you have to be rude and dismissive. No. But when you're so good with you, it's amazing. The husband, the wife, the children, the dog could be like, ah, and like, you know, my husband was like saying things in the car and I was like, before I'd be like, don't tell me what to do. Now I'm like, I'm just driving the car because I'm so good with me. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a little taste, okay? So what ended up happening was when you get married, things kind of change. And so the last couple of years, okay, this is more for the ladies, gentlemen, I'm sorry, okay? But I'm not a man, I cannot talk. You have Diego tell you about all his shoes. My husband has more clothes than I do. He gave away a whole bag, like a bag, like not a bag, like a garbage bag of clothes, and he still has a closet full of clothes. I give away a bag, I have no more clothes. Like, the man's crazy, just like Mr. Diego. When Jerry put a little poll, I'm like, that was an easy one, Diego, okay? So, but guess what, you guys? I like to go and get beautiful things and things like that. But what ended up happening was I stopped doing me. I stopped owning my power. It was like, almost like, where did she go? Come out, wherever you are. And I started to do little things to help me. Okay? I'm not telling you to go all crazy. But, like, I went out and got myself a beautiful, look at this little beautiful Louis Vuitton. Okay. And then I was like, okay, I need the matching wallet. And my husband was like, you really need a $900 wallet? I'm like, no, I don't really need it, but I really want it. Okay. And then we're remodeling the house and doing things, not remodeling, like redecorating the house. And my husband's like, we're on a budget. I'm like, you're on a budget, Bato. You're on a budget, Bato. So here's what I did. He was like, yeah, you're going to be on a budget, honey. So I took my own money. I'm like, okay, well, he's on the budget, but just in case I need to get some stuff, I might take my own money just in case. He said, we are out of money. I'm like, oh, no, we're not. Okay, and I don't say this to impress you, but I say this to impress upon you. This didn't happen last year. This has been a process for the last few years of me doing what? Write this down. Number one, knowing what I wanted. You've got to know what you want out of this business. If you just want a little bit of extra income right now, great. I understand. Maybe you're new on this call. You're like, who the heck is this chick? Hello, my name is Karla. But maybe you just want some extra income and that's okay. Okay? But some of you already know what's possible. Some of you already know because last year you had a crazy year. So did I. Okay? And here's the thing. If we lose focus on what we want, any distraction will take you. So number one, be focused on what you want. Be crystal clear. Number two, be super clear on what it is. Listen to what I'm going to say. What it is that you're willing to do. Okay? All of us want to XYZ. But what are you willing to do? What are you really willing to do? Are you willing to sleep a little less? Oh, but Karla, I need my time. No, you don't. You need vitamins, you need minerals, you need CR7, you need lift up, and let's go. Okay? Look, I'm just telling you, you want big things? You gotta figure it out. Oh, because I have my children. Wake up before they do. That has been the biggest game changer for me. I used to wake up and like Sebastian actually would wake me up, Mommy, and I'm like, oh my God. Now I wake up before he wakes up. I have my tea, I have my lift off, my tea, and my night work, so you can just imagine. And I sit there and I meditate and I take some time just for me. He wakes up sometimes, he interrupts my meditation. I work out, I do what I need to do, okay? But I just figure it out. There's some people that have to wake up maybe at 3 in the morning, maybe at 4 in the morning. I don't know, okay? But just figure it out. Sometimes when everybody goes to sleep, I get to work. I put my son to sleep. My husband he sleeps like a little bit earlier than I do, and I'll just stay up and I will work. So you just got to figure it out. Number one, know what you want. Number two, you got to know what it is you're willing to do. Okay? Because everybody wants to, whatever. I want to be taller too, but it ain't going to happen. Okay? And then number three, you got to write this down. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up? And some of you don't want that. Some of you are like, give up. What do you mean give up? Yes, some of you need to give up something. Look, I'm going to be super transparent with you, okay? I used to own a boot camp, and so I used to work out all the time. The boot camp closed, and my husband and I went on vacation after that. We did a couple things and went on vacation. And Karla gained a few pounds. And guess what? Like, my pants don't look so good. You see this little chin? I'm like, oh, man, I got to lose some weight. And I realized that one of the things that really makes me not do the best things in life is alcohol. Okay? I'll eat super clean all day, and then at night I'm like, oh, I need a glass of wine. Okay, maybe 2. Okay, maybe 3. Oh, now I want some Doritos. Oh, maybe with Valentina. And then I make bad choices. I'm just being real. Like, that might be for me, but for you, some of you are doing other things. Getting distracted and doing things that don't serve you. Hanging out with people that tell you you're crazy for doing this business. Yes, you are crazy. You should see the check I have in my wallet. I wrote myself a check for how much money I'm going to make this year. If somebody normal saw that, they would think I was crazy, and I am. Because I want to make crazy money. And there's nothing wrong with talking about money, ladies. Some of you are like kind of a little uncomfortable. I understand. I used to be the same way. And I finally just realized this, that money only makes you more of what you already are. So as we're completing this month, you guys, I want you to think about, okay, I didn't even tell you anything, the presentation I prepared, but this is how it goes, right? I feel like God speaks through me. But here's the goal. I'm going to go through this really quick, okay? Some areas you got to master. Okay, some areas you have to master. Okay, actually, let me put the presentation because I actually put it together. It's not crazy cute. Okay, I'm not as creative as Miss Jerry and a lot of you guys. Okay, but here's some areas you got to master. I'm going to go really quick. Okay, areas you got to master. Number one, you got to master your body. Okay, why? Because I'm going to read something to you. Okay, I'm going to read something to you. I love this, okay? I don't know if you guys know who Joe Dispenza is. I'm obsessed with him, okay? I don't know if you know who he is, but I have a friend that's very good friends with him, and she's with him, and I'm like, oh my God, tell me what he's teaching you. This is what he said. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, okay? And he said this. Write this down. She is at a $10,000 weekend with him. There, you're welcome. So this is what he said. Number one. Trade fear for gratitude. Yes, Viviana, he's amazing. Trade fear for gratitude. So a lot of you guys right now maybe are still living in fear because of what happened. Let's trade that for gratitude. Be grateful that you're alive. Be grateful that you're well. Be grateful that you have whatever, right? Number 2, she said, oh, this is the one. Okay, here it is. Ready? Your energy is like the Wi-Fi signal. Now, you guys all now really appreciate Wi-Fi, all right? So your energy is like a Wi-Fi signal. You have a weak signal, you just won't connect. Smack. I want you to check yourself. How are you with your body? Are you doing the things that are allowing you to have energy? Okay, I know I'm a little over the top, okay? But I get off the call and I'm like super chill, okay? But I get all fired up when I'm talking to people because honestly, like I feel like if I could just touch one person, and if one of you out of these 300 people on the line, if one of you actually does something out of this call and you finish the month strong, because let me tell you something, time is just energy. Don't tell me, oh, but it's already the 23rd, I'm gonna wait for next month. There is no, you all should know now. We all should know now after quarantine, after COVID, we all know we have no clue if we're gonna see next month. We just know if we're gonna have February. So how are you showing up? How is your energy? Is your connection, is your Wi-Fi strong? Because if it's not, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to get things done. So number 1, master your body. Number 2, where are my notes? Number 2, master your emotions. Okay, so now more than ever, you guys, I'm telling you, and I understand. And here's the thing. I want you to think about, how did you respond to what just happened? Okay, were you like, poor me, or were you like, okay, this happened to me, what do I need to do so this never happens to my family again? Some of my team members in Texas, they live in trailers. So I told her upline, who's a president's team member, I'm like, look, we need to talk to them. They need to get out of those trailers. This is not going to be the last time Texas is going to have some climate situation. It's like saying me with the earthquakes here in California. It's just a matter of time. So like, how are we preparing? Are you going to be like, pobrecita yo, Yes, I understand. Pobrecita yo, and what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let me tell you the 2 questions I always ask myself. Copy it. Here we go. What am I going to do? Sorry. ¿Qué puedo hacer? ¿Qué voy a hacer? ¿Qué puedo hacer? What can I do? Sorry, my brain works sometimes in Spanish. What can I do? And what am I going to do? What can I do? Right? Right now, I don't have light. Okay, what can I do? Right now, I don't have water. Okay, what can I do? Right now, I don't have XYZ. What can I do? What can I do? And what am I going to do? Those 2 questions are what almost tripled my income last year. No claims. This is not typical, but possible if you work hard and blah, blah, blah. Okay, what can I do? And what am I going to do? ¿Qué puedo hacer? ¿Qué puedo hacer? My brain started working. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What am I going to do? But you can't do that if you're not managing your emotions. You've got to learn how to manage your emotions. I'm not saying that I'm 1,000% always on it, but I'll tell you one thing. I could be mad right now, and some people might call me bipolar. I don't care what you call me. I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I've done this so many times. Over it. Delete. For those of you guys who know Garen Jones, I'm the one that told them, delete. I'm like, I'm over it. Let it go, Karla. Let it go. Because it doesn't serve me to be like completely an emotional wreck. I can't move from there. Number 3, master your relationships. Okay? Master your relationships. Number 4, master your time. Yes, Andrea. Yes, exactly. You're out of water for 9 days. You got to ask yourself, because here's the thing. There's nothing you can do. You cannot put water in the pipes. But what can you do? And when you start asking yourself that, Andrea, What's going to happen is your body, your mind's going to start to come up with ideas like do this, do this, do this. And if you've mastered your relationships, there's going to be somebody out there, if you've nurtured relationships, that are going to be willing to support you, that are going to be willing to help you. Okay? But if you've been the type of person that you've all been a taker, it's going to be a little challenging for people to want to give to you that know you. There's, the Red Cross and things like that. They don't know you, so they'll give to you. But imagine if you've been mastering your relationships, you'll find solutions. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? You don't need a lot of water for pancakes or waffles, right? Like, you don't need that. It's, you don't need a lot of water for that. Let me start selling some waffles. Let me get some money so I can get my family into a hotel where they have water. Get creative. Okay? Next, master your business. And I'm going to finish with this, okay? Master your business. What does that mean? Here's the thing, you guys. I'm going to say this humbly, and I'm sorry, give me one more minute, okay? I'm going to say this humbly. I actually, I get paid to teach entrepreneurs at a program at USC. And these women pay, not me, pay the program, like $9,000 to $12,000 a year for 3 months of a program to teach them how to build their business. Listen to what I just said. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jerry and Diego. Listen, they just gave me 15 minutes. What the heck? Okay, cool. Let me open my notes. So, these women, they pay a lot of money to be in this program. And you all, okay, let me tell you what they pay for. They pay for a community that is there to support them and help them. They pay for a community that they create a network where they help each other and they're there for each other with no judgment. They pay for a class once a month, STS, once a month for a few hours, okay? And they get homework assignments, and then they have to turn them in. Otherwise, they don't graduate, okay? And they pay for a sisterhood that lasts a lifetime. Does that sound like something familiar to you? And you, me, don't pay that. You don't have a clue because you've never had a business, maybe, I don't know. But even those who have had a business, this is so different. We are so blessed, yet we don't appreciate and we don't exprimir, we don't take advantage in a good way, and we don't take advantage of everything you have in your hands. Like, people pay for these classes. People pay me $2,000. That's how much I get paid to teach. $2,000, not too shabby, huh? And I am not charging you. Maybe, when I go to Texas, they'll take me out to eat or something. But I don't get paid. We don't get paid for this. We do it because we love each other. Why? Because we have a community that's here to support each other. We have a community that's here that's willing to teach one another, that doesn't judge. We have a sisterhood that lasts a lifetime. These promotions that you guys have in Cancun, that's what they're for. Yes, you learn. Yes, all of that. But you're building a network that's going to last a lifetime with people that are going to elevate you, with people that are going to be like, let's go. And this is your first month of qualification, if I'm not mistaken, Ara, if I was paying attention correctly, Ms. Gonzalez. Yes? Okay? And so, I'm just going to tell you, Maria Galindo, right? Jasmine, okay? Adriana Gonzalez. I'm just going to tell you guys. I want you to really understand and really, really get the value that you have in your hands. This is an opportunity that no income claims, that you can turn it into a 5, a 6, or a 7 or plus figure income a year. You can put 1 comma, you can put 2 commas, you can even put 3 commas on that checkbook that you want. The only limit is the one that you put on yourself and how the stories that you tell yourself, and I'm talking to myself too, okay? The stories that we tell ourselves. What if, you guys, what if what if you gave it your all these next, what is it? On Monday we finish, right? So however many days we have left, as an Herbalife person, you never know how many days we have. 6 days, right? So 6 days, something like that, right? What if you give it your all for these next few days? Like really, I'm going to send Jerry and Diego a video for those of you guys who speak Spanish that the guy says, and I love it. He's like, and I know some of you guys are not going to like what I'm going to say, but it's the truth. He said, at the end of the day, we're all going to die. And eventually, we will be forgotten. No, yes, we will. Yes, we will. For those of you guys shaking your head, yes, you will. Do you know your great-great-great-grandfather? No, you don't. You don't. And maybe people will tell you stories about them. Maybe you're going to make such a big impact. Somebody will talk about you, right? But you're eventually going to be forgotten. Okay? And so then he said, so why do we care so much about what people think about us? And I was like, yo, that's so true. And we're so concerned about sending that message. We're so concerned about calling that person. We're so concerned about offering an opportunity to somebody because we're so concerned about what they're going to think about us. What we should be concerned about is how they can change their life. And if they say no, that's okay. So today's I have a Peloton, okay? And my husband is so awesome. He put like a full speaker system in the room. So I'm like riding the Peloton. if you guys follow me on social media, I sing. I'm like, shit, I don't care. I was like, yes. I was like, come on, everybody, do the conga. No, you can control yourself any longer. Like, right? And the lady that cleans my house, she was like, and after a moment, because she walked into the room, because to get to the laundry room, you have to go through the workout room. And she walked through the workout room, and I almost stopped singing because I was like a little embarrassed because I sing terribly. And for a minute, I was going to stop doing me, feeling my joy. And she went through and she got into the laundry room, she closed the door, and then, whatever, I kept singing. And then I thought about it. I thought, how many times, it's not about singing. How many times do we hold ourselves back? How many times do we want to share something with somebody? How many times do we want to express ourselves? How many times do we want to reach out to that person on social media, but we're so scared that they're going to say no? How many times do we not want to XYZ? How many times? And what you don't realize is that you're literally telling the universe, like, you're not ready. Just F it and go for it. So I kept singing, it's like this 80s music, and I was singing, and I got off the bike, and like I told you, I need to lose a few pounds, so I wear a sports bra and some pants, so my little love handle is like there, right? And I feel a little uncomfortable, but guess what? I already know that if I don't put myself in that uncomfortable situation, if I cover myself, I'm not going to see the reality of things. So I came out and Teresa, I'm like, qué bonito canto, ¿verdad? I'm like, I sing so pretty, huh? She's like, oh yeah, you should be a professional singer. She was totally being sarcastic, right? So I'm going to finish with this, okay? You guys have just witnessed or gone through something very, very challenging, okay? And I commend you for being on the call today because I know that there's some of you that are still in a little funk. This month is not looking like you thought it was going to look. This month is not going like you thought it was going to go. And I understand. You're like, yeah, Karla, I was down 4 days. I was down a week. You guys, you're not new to this. Last year, we were down for a long time without liftoff. We were down without beverage mix. And what did you do? You figured it out. So here's what I'm going to say to you, okay? And here's what I want you to write this down. Our fear, where are my notes? Our fear comes... Here we go. Our fear comes from not knowing how to be in control. Our fear comes from not knowing how to be in control. Okay, so here's what you want to do. And I learned this. I took Diego to a Porsche experience, okay, in LA, where he got to ride the car and was like, the car was all out of control and all those things. So before I took him there, I was like researching it. I was like, okay, what is this all about? Is this a liability? Is he going to get hurt? He's a dad. He's my best friend's husband. Like, I didn't want to be responsible. And I loved what today reminded me. I loved what one of the videos that I was watching. And it said this, okay? So for those of you guys who don't know, like the cars racing, right? And they say this, they say people are scared because they're scared if the car gets out of control. That's really what they're scared about. They're not scared about going 100 miles an hour. They're scared about what if the car gets out of control? What do I do? Okay, and here's what the guy said. Number one, you gotta learn how to get out of a spin, AKA a storm, AKA if you're depressed right now, AKA if you're devastated. You gotta learn how to get out of that spin that you are in, okay? And then he said, and how you learn how you get out of that spin, AKA my volume is so low, AKA I don't know, whatever, my business is low. So the first thing you got to learn is how to get yourself out of, write this down, out of that state, S-T-A-T-E. How do you get yourself out of that state? You got to start switching your mindset. I'm not saying to not acknowledge your feelings for a minute, and then you got to get out of them, okay? So how are you going to learn how to get out of that spin, okay? Is you got to learn how to control your state. How do you control your state? Here we go. Number one, you got to focus on what you want, where you want to go. You got to focus on where you want to go. Are you going to be the type of person this month to be like, well, I'm going to just wait till next month? Or are you going to be like, listen, all of us were scared during quarantine. I don't know about Texas, but in California, one day to the next, they're like, you can't leave your house. One day to the next. First, there were like 20 people, then 10 people. They're like, no people, lockdown. And you were going to get arrested if you left your home, okay? So now you got to think about, okay, I got to focus on where do I want to go? I cannot focus on, AKA the wall, if you're driving the car. Because whatever you focus on, that's where you're going to go. And if you're focusing on, I can't leave my house, what am I going to do? My boot camp is closed, this, and that. But instead, I started thinking about, what do I want? What can I do? What am I going to do? What can I do? What am I going to do? Okay, so start focusing on, start changing your focus. Write that down. Anytime you start going into a little funk, anytime you start getting doubts, because it's going to happen, you're a human being. Anytime you start getting depressed, anytime you feel tired. Okay, I was super tired before getting on this call. Got to change your focus. I'm going to show you what I did. I put on here, I am powerful, I am action. I have to change my focus. If I'm focusing the fact that I was tired before getting on this call, I would want to take a nap. Luckily, we have amazing products. Okay? So you got to change your focus. Next. Okay? How you got to control, you have to change your focus, then you got to control what you're focusing on. Okay? Now, here's the thing, right? How do you change your focus? This is the $1 million question I would always ask myself. How do I do it? How do I do it? So I'm going to tell you, these are not my notes. I actually paid for this. So here you go. You're welcome. Okay. Number one, this is it. We're going to finish because my son's already crying. Okay. You got to see life as it is. Not worse than it is. You just got to see it as it is. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. Karla needs to lose about 10 little pounds. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm just a little bloated. No, Karla, you're fat. I mean, I'm not fat, but, like, I've gained weight. Okay? You can't fluff it. Like, just see it as it is. Not worse than it is. I'm not obese. But I can't just say, look, I'm just a little thick bone. No. I've gained some weight. Okay? Why? Why is it important to see it as it is? Okay? And not worse than it is, because then that's going to create, like, reality for you. Okay? Number two. You got to see it better than it is. You got to have a vision for the future. Write this down. This is like my favorite phrase. Clarity in the vision. Can you hear my son? Clarity in the vision accelerates your results. Clarity in the vision accelerates your results. So I have like a vision of how I'm going to look as I'm working out. I'm like, come on, baby, right? And I'm visualizing my life in that aspect. For you, maybe it's like, okay, my business is down. Maybe I'm not where I want to be. Okay, that's just the reality. Now, I got to see it better than it is. How am I going to finish? What am I going to do? How am I going to, how am I going to put my agenda? How am I going to, oh, here it is. Jessica gave me this. right? How am I gonna like put my schedule on something that's gonna be my boss? And then last, to finish off, number 3. So number 1, see it as it is, not worse than it is. Number 2, see it better than it is. Have a clear vision. Okay? And number 3, you just got to make it happen. Got to take action. Okay? I am a believer of manifestation, but I also know that even if I sit here and I'm like, I look like Jennifer Lopez. No, it's not going to happen. Okay? God's going to be like, well, do some squats, girl. Okay? Like, stop eating Doritos. I haven't had Doritos all this year. I'm so proud of myself. Okay? So like, that's like my weakness, okay? But it was, right? But it's like, you gotta now get into action. So I want to ask you guys to finish this call. I'm going to ask you guys to write this down. And I want you, if nothing else, to do what I'm about to tell you. This is your action step. See, I declare that I am powerful and I am action. So here's your action step. I'm going to give you some homework assignment. Before you get off the call, before you do anything, I want you to write down, what do I want this year? Like, really ask yourself, what do I want this year? Ask yourself, like, no kidding. What do I want this year? And then I want you to ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get it? What am I willing to do to get it? And what am I willing to give up? Some of y'all need to give up some Netflix. Some of you need to give up scrolling and watching other people's stories instead of posting your own. Okay? Some of you need to stop comparing. I don't know. Like, what do you need to give up? So that's going to be your homework assignment. Panza in, chichis out. Yes, girl, you've been to my training. So that's what I want to tell you guys, and I just want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, both also the men, okay? Go get your money. Like, go get your money. Like, this way, if anybody says we're on a budget, you're like, yo, brother, you're on a budget, not me. Or if you're a gentleman and you want to treat your lady to something nice and she's like, honey, are we on a budget? You're like, no, mi hijita, you grab whatever you want, baby, I got you. There's nothing like it, and it's not evil. This just gives you options. The other day, I stopped at a corner. This lady was selling flowers, and I gave her money, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to give her kids some clothes. I couldn't do that if I didn't have the money. So you guys, the storm hit. How did it find you? What are you going to do to make sure next time something hits, it doesn't find you in the same condition, but it finds you in a better condition, not only for yourself, but in a condition for you to give more to others. Thank you so much, Jerry, for that extra 15 minutes. I love you guys. Ya sabes, anything you guys need, I am here for you. We're one big family. Don't take this opportunity for granted. Really plug into everything you guys have, and not only for yourself, but for other people. And just remember, one day we will be forgotten. So who cares what people think? Be nice. Don't be rude, but go after your dreams and don't let anything stop you. Bye-bye.